Is this really Nestor? Let's find out. What's up guys, Canadian Guy A here, and I'm back with a video regarding one of the few controversies that the Spyro fandom has dealt with. When the initial trailer for the Spyro Reignited Trilogy came out, almost all fans were liking what they were seeing, except for one detail that I think a lot of fans were, at the bare minimum, confused by: the look of Nestor. My problem with it is that it just doesn't scream Nestor. Nestor is the first dragon you save. He has this strong sense of leadership, and to be honest, I'm not seeing it in this dragon. He seems wise, but old and frail. I'm not even talking about his turban, just his size and his look is just not really meshing well with me as Nestor. So as the weeks went on and we saw more and more details about the dragons, something hit me. You see, Paul Yan went on to say that all the dragons in the artisan's homeworld were artists in some way, shape, or form. This is shown off by Nevin being a painter, but apparently there are others like baristas and sculptors. Artisans is not the only one with the theme either. We got a great look of the 4 dragons from the Beastmakers worlds, and they all have a common theme. They all follow a tribal, native, almost voodoo vibe. Bone necklaces, beads and piercings, skulls, and many other factors related to dragons from the wildlands. So it would seem that all the dragons from the worlds have matching themes. So, back to artisans. If all the dragons from the artisan's homeworld are artists, what is Nestor supposed to be? There is no clear indication at all of him being a part of a certain art trade. Once again, let's take a look at Beastmakers. These dragons have a similar look, especially in the face of Lyle and Bubba. They have a rougher look to them, they're all scarred up, and they have decorative horns and even fins for Isaac. There's a unification in terms of look and style. But if we look at Nevin and the apparent Nestor, they definitely don't look like they belong in the same world. Now some of you might say that maybe there was a style change since the trailer. There has been many things improved upon that we have seen since the trailer, like Spyro's tail animation and the lighting in the levels. Perhaps Nevin looked like Nestor at one point, and then when the fans started complaining, they changed his style. However, that is untrue. Back in March, when Toys for Bob made that troll-tastic video talking about their company, they included little details of Spyro in there to try to give a hint to everyone that they were working on it. And no one caught it! I'm still salty to this day. I made a video pointing out all the hints, and still, it makes me upset. But there was a dragon that one of the artists was working on, and if you look, it's actually Nevin, and that would mean that they had Nevin's design planned out for quite some time, and therefore shoots down the theory that they changed Nevin's design after the trailer freakout when this video was released before the Spyro trailer had even come out. So let's answer the question. Is this really Nestor? My theory is no. No, it's not. Let me explain. The game has dragons following the same theme. He does not match the idea of being an artist. If this is not Nestor, then who is he, why is he there, and where should he be? Well, for starters, Toys for Bob came out to say that the very first level they worked on was Toasty. In terms of order of designs, to start on the first boss is kind of odd. Also, why is it that at the E3 demo they showed off treetops and additionally Toasty? Why something from Artisans and then something from Beastmakers? What this tells me is that they're not designing the levels in order. It would seem that they have put together some plan with different levels from different worlds, whatever fits best in their production schedule. Now to back this up, we have footage of Lofty Castle. Notice how the problem that fans were having about Spyro's tail in the original is now prominent here, even though this is footage after we saw the tail fixed. This means that this is likely footage from an earlier build in the game. We'll come back to this. If we look at the dragon's attire, he is wearing these jeweled gauntlets and neckwear with what seems to be a turban on his head. Now I know that Toys for Bob would not just throw a turban on this dragon's head for no reason, So I looked up many articles about turbans and what they meant to people, and many times the turban was a symbol of spirituality. So out of all the homeworlds, which one would fit spirituality? In my opinion, it would be either Dreamweavers or Magic Crafters. Another factor is, in the West, genies or mystics are sometimes depicted wearing a turban or a headdress. Once again, what theme does mystic match with? This time, it's only Magic Crafters. Now, some people might argue and say that actually Dreamweavers could fit in that as well, which is possible. However, the one thing that kind of ruins it is that if you look at the original Dreamweavers, they actually have a horn on their nose. Meanwhile, this dragon does not. So that kind of eliminates them from being a Dreamweaver. So it would seem that what we thought was originally Nestor might be a dragon from Magic Crafters. This would also make sense as the dragon looks a lot more slender and frail compared to Nevin, which matches the original design as well, where the Magic Crafters were much more slender compared to every other dragon design. But why is he here? Well, remember the footage that I pointed out earlier? Well, the footage is proof that they may have been working on Magic Crafters earlier in production, because they're not following a certain schedule as in the proper order of levels. They're doing what is best for the production schedule. So what could have happened was that Nestor's design may not have been completed yet, but Toys for Bob wanted to show off the first dragon you get right at the start of the game. So they may have had this dragon completed and used this model as a stand-in for Nestor, since they're both green, just so that they still could get the first dragon effect. Also, like I said, they're both green, so they might have been able to get away with it. So, is that it? Do we end the video here? Not quite. I'm going to dig just a little bit deeper. I'm going to try to figure out who this dragon is. Like I previously mentioned, Toys for Bob has been following the color palettes of the original dragons. So what we know is that this is a green Magic Crafter dragon. Who could it be? Once again, I looked at the turban, and it is said that there is a significant piece of headwear that should be highly respected by its wearer. This makes me think of a dragon who is quite important, perhaps like a leader. And it just so happens that Cosmos, the leader of the Magic Crafters, is also green, matching up with the dragon that we see in Artisans as a stand-in for Nestor. In fact, we can see him in his crystallized state here in the B-roll footage. That is only my theory, however. He could be from Dreamweavers, but if I were to put my money on one singular factor, it would be that at least this dragon is not Nestor. That's my only thing that I can say that's almost a guarantee in my mind. This cannot be Nestor. It does not make sense. But that's my theory, however. Comment below if you think that it's Nestor or if it's a different dragon. Thanks so much for watching. Cue the extra.